Thanks for the reminder, YouTube. Okay, so I'm in my bedroom, and I've got here the chart. Sometimes I try to put it up behind me and I try to make it fancy, but nobody watches my shit. Unless you're somebody. Thanks for watching my shit. I don't know. Maybe now's the time the algorithm will like my story. That's what it is. It is a star story. Now, it's a new moon, which means the sun and moon are at the same point. And what point are they at? 20 degrees of Pisces. So the story for this one is slippery, global, dreamy, porous. One of the older creatures that exists, very different from us, right? Very different than human creatures, because the fish, you see, the way that they navigate the world is a little different than us. How they respond to life is different. So, the fish symbol is ruled over by Jupiter. So both the sun and the moon, which I think are neutral. Sun in Pisces, like myself. I'm trying to find the thread. There's like an acceptance of some sort of like desire for like something far better. Like there's something about that's Pisces that just like feels deeply that things could be much different and better. And yet we swim along with these currents. We go along with this flow. So the sun and the moon there. Well, let's start with the sun. Let's just start with the sun. Again, more neutral. It's ruled over by Jupiter and Taurus. So there is an exchange between that Jupiter and that sun moon conjunction. I could show it to you. It's a chart. Just pull it up. But you see the sun and the moon at 20 degrees of Pisces, right? So that's approximately right there. And that point is basically, it's not a exact sextile, but it's pretty close to within orb. Anyways, it just means that the sun and the moon in Pisces are talking at least somewhat with this Jupiter. Just barely beginning to exchange a sense of like, it's not quite there, but it's about to be there. It may be more accurate. It's like we're on the cusp. Well, technically the sun and the moon are going to catch up with Jupiter. So if I'm being totally frank, what would it be? It would be like right now, at the time of this recording, I'm in the build-up to this. So if I'm going to be an astrologer that is like telling the energy, it's like, okay, there has just been a time for like really exchanging a sense of like serve every day, love every day, like that sense of like moment to moment. Like there is a sense of like really trying to learn how to love your day-to-day routines. But it's like that's what's coming up. So it's like we're that chance. I mean, we of course have it every day, but there's some sort of like, at the time of this new moon, it's a new cycle. So it's just like take what you're feeling and what you're like kind of sort of finding attractive and beautiful and life-giving, like taking those energies and incorporating like a new service, a new it depends on your birth chart how to like specifically like bring that energy. For me, it's like something between like my partnerships and my commitments and my contracts, my work, and also God. It's like for me, it's like do the Lord's work, do God's work. You're learning about how to do it, but yeah, it's the ruler of so the sun in Pisces is ruled over by that Jupiter in Taurus, which is ruled over by that Venus in Aquarius, right? So it's like definitely the first movement is sort of like we've just been exchanging a lot of like expansion around our day-to-day rituals, like little ways to nourish and to improve. That should be there's a comfortable orientation, at least I think there, that really wants to happen. So it's rolled over by this Venus in Aquarius, which is like, as I'm pulling in the Aquarius energy that I know, the people that have like the sun there or Aquarius rising or something, or the moon or whatever, now I'm thinking of Venus, and I'm going back to like people who are kind of detached, and like the way that they love and connect is almost by like scientific response. It's like scientific response. It's a it's a sticking to your beliefs. It's a steady ideology kind of an energy. So love is sort of like, this is what love is. I've decided this is the boundaries of love. This is how you act. And it is. It's a masculine sign, right? It's like so it's like feminine to this masculine, and it's oof. Then that Venus in Aquarius goes back. So I'm trying to like build on that exchange. It's like at the time of this new moon, okay, so we've fully surrendered. We've fully surrendered. And now it's time to start working our way up towards something new. And it definitely there's a day-to-day component. There's a survivalist mental like paradigm that like can be adopted and executed on, and then what rolls over that is that Saturn in Pisces. So we made the loop though, back to Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. That's been the signature. That's been the signature, I think, for a while. And Pisces is anytime I use astrology to tell a story, right? Anytime I'm trying to go so large, go so big, so many people could be listening to this if I really am trying to do like a general reading and like a state of affairs of the world. At some point, it seems silly, but the art form of looking at the symbols and really just trying to like feel what they're trying to say and understand the relationship, it's appealing. It's appealing to me enough to be doing it right now. Like, I've found the limit. Full moons and new moons coming forth and expressing my ideas. Pisces is associated with boundless porousness. It's since Neptune's there as well, it's like even more, man. Man. Here we are, drinking, eating, the energies that we can experience with our senses, and then the ones that are beyond our senses to perceive, like electromagnetic radiation, like it's such amazing, massive experience. So this is a very like connective going with the flow. And again, I don't mean to be mean to Pisces, but it's like Aquarius to me is like human energy. Like that. There's a squirrel right now running across the power line. Like, the squirrel may not know what the power line is for, right? Is there some sort of effect that that power line has on me from a distance? Is there a subtle interaction there? Like being in LA, like such a polluted air city, like what's going on? How can I be in a better situation? What is my day-to-day pattern? Where do I need to be where I can be the most comfortable and the most helpful? And is there, like, I just want a better world. Like, I think that's that escapist thing. And for me, like Neptune, the planet of escapism, perhaps, like the arts, it's like sitting on my sun. Like, it will not happen again. Neptune moves slowly. Like, this is a once in a lifetime time. But then that's always the case. But Neptune is like film, arts, like fucking, like it is on the brightest spot. Like, this is it. This, like, the sun is like my soul and Neptune is there. And I know it moves slow. It's not like it's going to be gone tomorrow, but it's like, if I'm to just think about like that, I'm in that period of my life where I do have the capacity to sit, like right now, an amalgamation of universal energy has a memory bank to pull upon. It has opinions, it has anger, it has emotion. It's like, why not diffuse that? Why not? That's, I mean, the argument is there, but like, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna just sit down and do it? Like, I could this afternoon. For some reason, this creative act I'm willing to do, even though there's no empirical like basis for it. It's just a story. It's just a fiction, off the cuff. I can off the cuff tell people my story of Quill Circumscope and Verity Flume. Like, I can talk about Captain Lionfish, but the thing is, I want it to be good, and that takes time and energy and tweaking and trying to think how it all fits together. It's like, or I could just fucking just tell the story and not get so beat up about whether or not it's true or helpful to humanity and all that other stuff, which I seem to also care about. But anyways, here we are. Here we are. Pisces, Venus, Aquarius. Pisces, Venus, Aquarius. I'm doing it mixed up. Pisces, Taurus, Aquarius. Pisces, Taurus, Aquarius. Pisces, Taurus, Aquarius. So the relationship of Pisces to Taurus, more agreeable. Taurus to Aquarius, a little more tough. At least, I don't know, whenever there's an aspect, I'm like, oh, at least I can see that there's a conflict. At least I can see that there's a balancing act. It's like, oh, you really want to eat here? Oh, you don't? Okay, well, you go eat there. I'm not going to do that, but we can connect after. Like, I don't mind that. I don't mind that kind of an energy. I'm encountering that now. It's like being forward and direct and just being like, this is not my cup of tea, but I totally salute you if there's curiosity there. Like, you know, you do you. So, we've discussed the sun and the moon. The moon and the sun in the same place. So obviously the moon's not visible. So it's a time for, like, to me it's like faith. It's a faith time. It's like, do you believe that the moon is still there just because you can't see it? Faith sometimes suggests things that are beyond. So new moons is like, it's not there yet. It's not there in that cycle. This is the time for something new. This is a time for something new. Something different. What should I do? How should I do it? What's the right way? Like, there's a part of me that's so angry about everything. From stains to cuts. There's like just like this deep rage. There's a deep rage. I have been expressing today a sense of just like anger and disappointment and frustration. And I don't want to bring people down, but I also am just like, God, like, I'm just annoyed. Like, this realm is hard enough. There's enough suffering without us making it worse, and it does seem like breeding is like irresponsible. Like, to be alive is a chore and not worth it. Like, that's a very heavy That's a very heavy thought. It's a very heavy emotional sort of. So what can I do to get out of that? Well, I mean, they make substances for you to feel bliss and crazy sensations. Like, we have drugs for that. But a lot of people who end up abusing those, I don't know, like, just, they don't seem that sexy. They don't seem that desirable. They kind of start to look nappy and, like, I don't, nappy is that word is maybe not the right word, but I don't know. It's just like, because, like, my hair is all over the place, right? Like, people could say, oh, you know, like, your hair is not, and, but it's like smelly, dirty. I don't know what the word, what a good word is for it. It's like lice. I think my computer just went to sleep on me. I don't know. I don't want to disparage people, but, like, people who are clean and who smell nice, like, you can, like, I hope that that's me. I hope that that's me. Anyways. Moon, Sun, Jupiter, Venus. Mars and Venus are no longer together. So, yeah. There's a... they're so different, right? Venus, I think Mars and Aquarius, like, having the aggressive cutting energy and the wanting to connective energy, like, having both of those together, it's like a, in one sense, it's like a balance. You could say that it's balance. But I mean, conjunctions don't necessarily suggest balance. But in Mars and Venus and Aquarius, there's already, like, a detachment. So if they're both there, I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. I'd have to look up, like, people with Mars and Venus and Aquarius to start, like, adding more to the story. But I'm just getting a sense of, like, rigidity of ideas, but also, like, the execution on the feminine masculine polarity is sort of, like, balanced there. But now that they're separating, maybe there's instead of having that sort of, like, oh, like, I love and hate this equally, it's like there's some hate pooling here and some love pooling here, and they're not together necessarily. And I don't want to say one's better than the other. I don't think any chart is necessarily better than the other, just because people with really unfortunate placements seem to do really cool things. So they seem to be really attractive people. So I'm hesitant to get too wrapped up in it. But Mars is in Aquarius, which goes back into Saturn. So it gets into the Saturn, Jupiter, Venus kind of spiral that we discussed earlier. But yeah, that Mars is rolling over Mercury in Aries. Mercury just made it into Aries at this point, which is sort of nice. So it's like, what I will say is, like, when it comes to messages and communications and stuff, like, this new moon is sort of like, I don't know, like, if there has been good downloads about, like, your day-to-day routines and how to serve and to how to experience pleasure in a way that's really connected and open, like, that's, like, the best case scenario. So, but it's like the ability to, like, talk about that and to create, like, messaging and like, commerce around that is certainly, like, less, it's probably less simple, it's less clear, it's less direct. But so since Mercury is escaping from the waters of Pisces and moving into the fires of Aries, it's like, okay, well, we're ready now. We're out with it. We're gonna suggest it, since right now the Sun and Mercury are, you know, in a place that that were similar to where they were when I was born, and the moon will very soon after this be moving through Aries and then Taurus. Like, I'll get back to like oh, this is like a very me sort of time. And my birthday is on the 18th, so it will be a time of like my time, or the energy of me. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to be pleasant or unpleasant. I'm trying to not put myself in like a box like that. It seems like both labels have their appropriate sort of, they suggest something that's true. So yeah, I'm trying to honor the negative emotions that are coming up inside me, the pain, the discomfort. I'm trying to balance and share myself appropriately. There's a sense of wanting to give more, but then there's also a sense of just wanting to like completely give up, and it's, I think a little bit of each is good. I'm grateful that I'm able to sleep, but I guess I shouldn't be attached to it because that might get taken away. I'm grateful for health, but I guess I shouldn't be attached to that because it also gets taken away. I don't know, y'all. It's a harsh place. It's a harsh place. The dwarf planet, Pluto, still is on lots of people's grids. It's in Aquarius, making a small little tap on Neptune, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Or is it? It could be Mercury. Well, pretty close either way. It's certainly the messenger Aries making it into Aries. More heat, more action when it comes to exchanging ideas, like, and more to the point, more cutting to the chase, I think. Aquarius has an ideology, has boundaries, has established ways, but the leader of that is in Pisces still, so it's so slippery. Like, there's not. I think we've discussed all the planets. I think we have. They're all happening between the Aquarius Taurus, so it's like heart of winter to heart of spring. Like, it's all happening right in between there. And that's not always the case. Like, the outer planets are in that, because Pluto's now in Aquarius and Neptune's in Pisces and Uranus is in Taurus. It's like the outer planets, they just move so much slower. So the story has to, if you use those totems and symbols, you have to kind of incorporate so much more information to the point where it's like kind of gets like historic. The outer planets are hanging around in wintry spring. They just are. Man, at the time of this new moon, Chiron is conjunct the nodal point. So that's an interesting one as well. So it's like the place where the eclipses happen, that orientation. So there's a wounded healer there. The North Node. The North Node, the North Node. In Aries. The dragon's head. The dragon's head. And Chiron. Together. Very close. I'm just, so if it's the head or the face, so it's like, it's reminding me of the actual story of how, like, the North Node, Rahu Ketu, that whole, like, myth. It's like, I'm getting the image of, like, so the dragon was kind of like, I mean, this is very violent. This is a very violent image, but it's like, its ability, it's not its feet, but like maybe like in this region is getting like definitely attacked, like definitely attacked, pretty gnarly. So it's like, or a plane that just doesn't have like landing gear. That's kind of, I'm always just amazed at like, I'm not sure if it's even on. I think it's still going. I don't know what happened. But yeah, hopefully the airline is like, oh, there's a problem. We can't take off yet. It didn't pass our test. We got to make sure this is safe. And then everybody just has to deal with not getting to go right away. That's the ideal. The negative is you have to make a really scary landing. Ideally not that. Ideally not that. I just am angry. Like, I'm just angry about living. I'm angry about existing. Like, I'm angry. So, not sure how helpful this is, but I still do it. I still do it for myself, I guess. It's like I don't feel like I'm in a flow state. I don't feel like I'm in connection. I know that I am, like I know that I'm part of this, but it's like God isn't like communing with me. And it, other than like maybe by providing earth and fruit and all of it, like I'm just getting to a place of like, if there's like an awareness of like a sensation, it's like, words aren't describing it, but it's just, my consciousness is just floating towards just like, here we are, and there's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of momentum. I think about the different things that need to be done, and I'm just sort of like, I think about the future, the problems, the, like, rent checks that need to be made, and like all like the way that society works and all the structures and all the games, and I'm just sort of like, it's hard enough for me sometimes to just like commit to having good posture. It's just like, at least commit to having good posture. It's about all I got. It doesn't sound fun to write. Yeah, there's just deep darkness. There's just like a deep darkness. There's a deep feeling of just like lost. These words feel empty. Like they don't feel like they're talking about the thing I want to say they're almost meaningless. I don't mean to hurt people's feelings. I don't mean to make things difficult, but it's just like, this is stupid. But like without the sting of stupid. It's just like, this is dumb. Yep. Going live, recording yourself ramble on, using this occult system that doesn't provide any evidence. I don't know, but I think religious people who are sharing about their experiences, like, I don't know, like I'm on the cusp of rage or on the whatever. Like, I don't want to say mean things. I don't want to say mean things. I just want to not ever have to experience anything unpleasant. Like, I just don't think it's fun. I don't know. I think I'm gonna say love, light, and the snake's bite and hang up. Love, light, and the snake's bite.